Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. Now, there is no rest for the wicked, and we're diving straight into CES 2022. And while you might have a few health goals and New Year's resolutions in place, I wanted to learn more about Baracoda Daily Healthtech. And the reason I say that is they've just received 2 innovation honours at CES 2022. One was for something called B-Balance, which is the first connected product to use footprint recognition and merge medical indexes such as posture, balance, in addition to weight and BMI. So I'm quite looking forward to learning more about that. And they've also got the first thermometer to operate without batteries, combining health tech and sustainability for a product called Be Cool. And they've also partnered with Colgate, which has also earned an innovation award at CES 2022. So it seems to me that they're cleaning up awards at CES. So I had to get them on the podcast. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Las Vegas so we can get Thomas Serval, CEO of Baracoda Daily Healthtech, onto the podcast again, and we'll find out a little bit more about those awards they're picking up. So a massive warm welcome back to the show. We last spoke exactly a year ago at CES 2021, but can you tell the listeners a little bit more about who you are and what you do, just to bring everyone up to speed?
Yes, so I'm Thomas Serval. I'm the CEO of Baracoda Daily Healthtech. We are a company focused on prevention and health care, trying to reinvent people's life, connecting device in the bathroom and helping people having good habits. So we started with toothbrushes, smart mirrors, and now we are here to present our latest.
And here we are this year at CES 2022, where the focus is the bathroom of the future. So can you expand on some of these areas and what that trend covers?
Yes. So the vision of Baracoda is, now that COVID has changed people's behavior, we won't go back to the doctor waiting room. If you have any symptoms, we try to avoid going into places where we can catch a virus or a disease. And so we believe that the bathroom is the ideal place to become what we call a digital health studio, meaning a place where you can prevent the most common disease, and also, if you have any symptoms, diagnose or pre-diagnose the symptoms to help you get better. So the bathroom of the future we dream of, we are building piece by piece. So in 2014, we introduced our connected toothbrush, which is the most volume-driven device connected in the bathroom now. Then in 2017, 2018, we introduced smart mirrors and an operating system for smart mirrors, which allows devices such as smart scale, smart toothbrushes to have an interface to communicate with the patient or with the consumer, and also to use the camera of the mirrors to be able to diagnose more and more diseases or to help you take good habits. And along the road of this venture, we have been deploying smaller mirrors, bigger mirrors, so mirrors of every shades and forms. And we keep focusing on how do we create a more connected bathroom. One of the points we wanted to deploy was really we wanted to reinvent the weight. And we are introducing this year the B-Balance product, which is a device that will help you better understand your weight and balance. Looking also into new technology that allows our smart mirror to diagnose your heartbeat, your skin condition, and sky is the limit, because now the progress in AI allows us to bring so many more innovation on the CareOS platform. And so the third announcement we are making this CES is now we are opening our B-Connect protocol, which is a secure protocol to connect everything in the bathroom with what we call the B-Connect hub. So you don't want, when you are in the bathroom, to get your data out of the bathroom so it can't go in the internet. So you want to set a high level of privacy and security. And so this is what the B-Connect protocol is all about. And last but not least, our latest invention in the connected bathroom is a product we call Be Cool, where we try to have a more sustainable vision of how do we measure your temperature. And so the connected bathroom of the future is really about being able to get more data about your health, your biometrics, and to look at long trends. So not asking you about your weight every day, but on the contrary, looking at the evolution of a couple of those data and see if they are significant enough to trigger an alert, and then to be able to consult a professional or to warn you about the fact that you might want to skip your third dinner tonight because food is good, but you want to keep healthy weight. So those are kind of the thing we can do with the connected bathroom. And we see incredible traction based on the acceleration of the healthcare world transformation due to COVID.
It's incredibly cool. And as a guy that loves his tech gadgets and the quantified self and that movement that's established over the last few years, I think it's incredibly cool that from the second that you get out of bed in the morning, before you hit the shower, you've got almost a data dashboard of your health, from your temperature, your weight, your heart rhythm, etc. I'm curious, though, do you think we're shifting to a more proactive approach to our healthcare, where we get that data in advance and we're looking for things before they go wrong? And are mainstream users ready to use predictive technology that alerts them about changes maybe in their skin, heart rhythm, or even risk of falling for senior users?
So that's an excellent question. So at this moment, I think we are still really in the early days of this revolution, where we are trying to get people to adopt those technology. And our experience, and we are former people from Google, so we have marketing background, etc. So every proactive action drive 20%, 80% of the user out. So every time we ask you to do something extra in your routine, you're losing people. So a lot of things we are working on is to augment devices of today and to make them completely invisible in the data collection phase. So with B-Balance, the smart bath mat we are introducing at CES, for instance, we are removing the anxiety of you going on your scale and knowing what your weight is going to be, because somehow our study shows that 60% of women don't want to go on the scale because they don't want to be depressed by the results. So there is this kind of understanding people's behavior that is even more important than measuring it. So at this moment, we are in trying to make all our device seamless. Not that you have no control over the data, I will come back to this later, but in the fact that collecting data and displaying data are two different things. The data collection is improving a lot. And we are now, as you mentioned, being able to monitor your heartbeat, your temperature, your weight, your posture, your skin condition, and the list is going to be limitless. However, it's a completely different story to be able to help you act on it, which starts with the second phase, which is to trust the system, trust the measurement, trust the fact that we are not going to play with your data against your best interest. So that's why we integrated this kind of privacy by design B-Connect protocol, and we are still at the early days of that. We have at Baracoda invented this notion we call indexes. Indexes are a quantitative measurement of something that has impact on your health. And so a typical example was before we were looking at what you were doing with your toothbrush. People were measuring how much time they brush their teeth. And it's an index of the brushing quality, but it's a very bad index. Why? Is because if I tell you brush your teeth 2 minutes, you might find it right, but that doesn't mean you didn't brush it wrong. You might have spent 2 minutes on 60% of your mouth, which our study shows, and forget 40% of your mouth. And then the cavities and the oral care disease will not be affected by this measurement. So finding the right index is really at the heart of our R&D process. So measuring something that is meaningful for you to prevent a health issue, and that's 50% of the work. And the second question, which is even the other one, which relates to exactly what you asked, is once I know that I miss 40% of my mouth, how can I act on it? And that leads to a completely different story, which is not technical, which is more about human behavior. And so we are using the tips and tricks of gamification, rewarding, all the things we know in games to create addictivity. I call our platform to create good habits to see if we can have an impact on your oral health now that we have these metrics, this oral care index. And our study shows that now on oral care, we are able to have an impact on your brushing quality. For kids and for adults, it has a significant impact. Research is still going on because we are just collecting the right index and seeing what the behavior changes are involved with. But with oral care and with our partnership with Colgate, we are there yet. What we are trying to do is to find new indexes about your health quality on which you can act upon. So at this moment in time, we have seen that the weight is not good enough to measure your health related to a lot of your body situation. And second, what your weight is, but acting upon it is all the diet story, etc., is very hard. So we are trying to reinvent the weight by calling it the balance with this new device. And we are building new games and activity that will help you not only manage your weight, which is a topic that is properly handled, but not greatly handled with the diets, but also look at a more significant disease that we can track with the new balance index about risk of falling, about neurodegenerescence, or early sign of diabetes. And the great stuff about the technology we have deployed on B-Balance is now we have early sign working with scientists specialized in this, that we could have an impact on people's behavior. But the jury is still out, whether we will be able to have an impact on people's behavior or not. We need to keep studying it and proving it. So it's a long answer to tell you that data per se are not actionable. This is why we are trying to build these new indexes. With these new indexes, we can relate those indexes to a known disease or a known situation. And we are at the beginning of the venture to know whether the fact that we are displaying those data in the right way at the right moment will have an impact on people's health. And we are very optimistic. We are making progress, but we are not there yet.
And I think for most people listening, they would have walked away from their emails over the holiday period and they've eaten too much, drank too much, watched too much bad TV, and now easing themselves gently back into work in the first week in January. But of course, for anyone in the tech industry, it's completely different because it's the week of CES in Las Vegas, and your email inbox must have been going crazy throughout the holiday period with lots of different organizational tasks going on there and maybe a few stresses along the way. But for you guys, I've read that Baracoda Daily Healthtech have received 2 innovation honors at CES this year. Can you tell me a little bit more about them?
Yes. So I think the first one I just started describing is called B-Balance.
Yeah.
So B-Balance is the new smart bath mat that measures your posture and weight and helps you improve your balance. So it's seamless. You don't go on your scale anymore. Your scale is your bath mat. You spend maybe 1 hour in your bathroom, maybe 20 minutes on it. So we don't ask you to do anything. We will collect the data, and if something is different from your daily trends, we will alert you. Typically, a serious alert will be a loss of 5% of your weight over a short period of time, but otherwise we won't bother and interfere with your daily life. And so we have just done an Indigo campaign with this device. We had terrific traction, sorry. So it's really going well, and the use case from medical device to really helping people living a better, healthy life is incredible. And this device is not only used for measuring, it also used to exercise. Because especially when you start losing your balance for the elderly, it's something that is preventable or at least manageable. There are a lot of simple exercise you can do every day that will help you keep your balance and be. So that's the first product. I think I covered it mostly in the new trends that we discussed. Yeah. The second one is the long-term vision of Baracoda. I was mentioning we are trying to remove friction of every device that you might be using in the bathroom. And one of the friction we have is the use of a battery. If you have a connected toothbrush, if you have a connected tablet, phone, etc., your battery life is a pain. You have to recharge it. Your watch, you have to recharge it. So, and on the other end, we feel very conscious about being responsible, especially our new generation of engineers, for bringing too much plastics and too much non-sustainable goods and in the equation of health tech. And we know how much our personal health and health of the planet are connected. So we came up with a second invention, which is called Be Cool, where we reinvent the thermometer. If you remember, in the old days, the thermometer was full of very dangerous materials such as mercury, and then become it became digital. It was full of lithium-ion batteries and all of that. So our engineers came out with the idea to create a fully sustainable thermometer that will be, especially because as you, every time with the COVID, we were always having temperature check when we entered building, etc. And so it's most carbon-friendly device. So it's a device you just shake to power up, and then you press the thermometer on your forehead. And then a second after that, you get your temperature and send it, because it's connected, to your mobile phone. Or if you have the BConnect plug or BConnect hub, you can send it directly to HealthKit or to a backend server that will track your temperature or your kid's temperature. So those are the two inventions we are very proud of. One really about seamless monitoring of the weight and posture, and the second one about checking your temperature with the most limited carbon footprint. Just a little shake, and then we are reinventing the thermometer, which is also an index that we believe is very interesting.
Yeah, it's incredibly cool. And I love how, I think B-Balance is also the first connected product to use this footprint recognition and actually merge medical indexes such as posture, balance, in addition to weight and BMI, etc. And then, like you said, with B-Cool, the first thermometer to operate without batteries, which is music to many people's ears. But something else that stands out, if we take a step back from all the cool things there and the problems that you're solving, is another big topic at the moment is sustainability and not having throwaway gadgets. So can you tell me a little bit more about how you're combining health tech and sustainability? Because again, there's a big focus on that, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, like, it's actually Be Cool comes really from the Baracoda top employees, and the idea came out with really the fact that the next generation of engineers don't want to work in a company that is going to pollute or create more damage to the planet. So Baracoda is, as any high-tech company, we are now 220 employees, 19 nationalities, but we share this common goal to be a better citizen of the planet, and to make sure that if we improve people's health by adding new devices in their life or making new devices, but if on the other end, everything we do pollute and create more disease in the world or more pollution, we are not fulfilling our mission. So I think there is a long-term, I think we have decided to make this a long-term commitment to also improve people's health by being more responsible in the way we design products. And just maybe following on this trend, the way we try to integrate this in our mission is, number one, trying to increase interoperability. Every closed system will force you to buy a new device. And there is no point. Why do my whistling scale cannot work with my B mirror or with this L'Oreal device? The fact is, a lot of companies are trying to sell more things by having closed ecosystems. We believe one responsible action is to, especially in the world of health tech and privacy, etc., the BConnect protocol is an answer we try to have, opening this protocol to as many people as we can, so that you are not reinventing the wheel, you're not reusing or creating a duplicates of devices. If someone has a great technology, let's make it compatible with the other device that has great technology. So interoperability of device, because we know how many data are necessary to help people health, is one action we have in that regard. The second point, which is mostly long-term R&D, is we are very fascinated with the progress made in what we call power harvesting. So how do we use your power, the human body generated power, to power up our sensors and devices? So just to give you a hint of what is on the roadmap, but the Be Cool product is the first of a new generation of device, which will be trying to avoid any batteries, which we know are using rare metals and high pollutants. And so we are trying to use your body energy to power up the different things. And it's been a long time since people have been thinking about that, but the progress being made right now in electronics, and this is why Computer Electronics Show keeps his name, is the progress being made in super high, low power devices, and as well as power harvesting, are opening a completely new era of wearables. And we expect those to be numerous in the next few years, especially we're working on many of them. So those are two elements. And the third one is being responsible with regard to the use of plastics. We are going to use renewable plastics. So we know the oil derivative products are a rare resource. And so reusing and as many devices as possible and as many plastics as possible is also part of the mission we are trying to fulfill.
And not only that, I also read that your partner Colgate has also earned an innovation award at CES 2022 for their low-price smart toothbrush. So is there anything you can share about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Baracoda under his own name. So Baracoda is a pretty large company, as at least a large startup, not a large company, but we have two businesses. We have the product we invent under our own Baracoda labs, and then the product we developed in partnership with people like Colgate and others like Wella and other brands we cannot name. So we have not only Colgate awards, but we have three of our partners who have awards. I can only name Colgate. So the Colgate device is the latest of the generation that started with Colibri in 2014, the first connected toothbrush, under which we signed a strategic partnership with Colgate, which has been very fruitful. And at CES this year, we will show how an idea from a small startup like Colibri and Baracoda become a world-deployed device that you can find in Apple stores, you can find by millions in the hands of American customers, for instance, or Chinese customers. And so the latest device from Colgate, called Smart Rhythm, is making this technology of tracking and evaluating the quality of your brushing available to the masses. Because if you have some super high-tech stuff, it's expensive, and Colgate's ability to scale technology and incredibly well-deployed, well-developed app, their apps, which has been named the best app for toothbrushing, is really a proof of the partnership between Colgate's scale and ability to unique knowledge of and customer insight in oral care, and I would say the innovation and agility of Baracoda technology. And this partnership just is being renewed, and we are actually this year at CES judging and creating an open innovation contest with Colgate to let a startup who innovate oral care also have the same chance that Colibri and Baracoda had, being able to benefit from the large scale of a partner like that. So very proud of the partnership with Colgate and very proud about the fact that their latest device has an award. Maybe I can add a little thing on that. Is like we have been building within Baracoda a tool, we call it Baracoda technology, that allows to create connected device as a white label or as under our own brand very fast. So the scale you see, the bivalent scale, the B mirrors that will also be shown at CES, all those devices are based on the same IoT platform that is able to manage now 1 billion devices in 200 countries. So we have built along the year the infrastructure and the technology to build and deploy fast connected devices. And some of them can be toothbrushes, which Colgate is benefiting from. But innovation doesn't stop in oral care. We have plenty of new devices being done by partners of ours in different areas connected to this platform.
And one of the things that really stands out for me is healthcare, or health tech, makes it possible to monitor your wellness in a non-invasive way now. And physicians also have that added ability to monitor whether a prescribed treatment is working. But I'm curious, what is it that excites you about the opportunities that this new approach to healthcare will create?
Yeah. So the vision Baracoda has is health is a practice. So when the old way of doing medicine was to go to your doctor, you were checking out, doing writing a balance sheet of your health. And we believe that's not the right way to go moving forward. Now we have the technology to track you over time. And that opens the area of what I call longitudinal medicine. So a medicine that will not be based on snapshot of metrics, but on long-term trends. How your body temperature evolves, how your weight evolves, how your heartbeat evolves, etc. Because most diseases don't happen over time. Don't happen like by accident. They are the long decay of stuff you could have monitored, such as skin, especially skin cancer is something that is usually a slow-moving thing. So if we can have the data of your face every day, we can track that. And so we are trying to reinvent this new medicine. And obviously, for doctors and for physicians, it's a brand new area. it's a paradox, is actually closer to Chinese traditional medicine than from Western medicine, where you will try to look at the balance of people's things. So now this platform I described and this vision of the new way we think medicine will go towards can be applied in two ways. One is really a prevention, and this is where we are focusing on. So we are talking about healthy people. We are trying to keep healthy as long as we can. And that opens up a complete new business model for practitioners that will monitor you more than they will treat you. And then obviously could be reimbursed by your healthcare provider, because keeping you in good health is even more economical than curing you when you're sick. And so depending on the healthcare system, some countries, some are seeing this as an obvious opportunity. Some are less proactive toward this. We see Asia as being a number one driver of this vision of medicine. And so that's when you are healthy. And the second discovery we are facing now with doctors on a daily basis, we know what you have. It's treatable, but a lot of heart attacks keep reappearing because people are not compliant. They are not taking their medicine. So the second aspect, which is more spatial monitoring that our technology allows, is as fruitful as the prevention. And we keep having this incredible opportunity. We didn't even know about just helping people to be more compliant. So when I explain what we're trying to do at Baracoda Daily Healthtech, this is what we call Daily Healthtech, is we are trying to help you get good habits or take good habits or correct your habits if they are bad. And that can lead to an incredible impact on everybody's health. Just giving you an example. WHO has shown that if everybody was washing their hands 7 times a day, 90% of the world diseases will disappear.
Wow.
So that's this only sentence. We don't need anything. We just need a little bit of soap, a little bit of water, and a good habit. And that will solve 90% of people's health. I mean, we know that when we couldn't solve and fought COVID, we know that cleaning your hands was the number one thing you should keep doing. And so that's really where it excites me. It's like we are using technology to go back to the very, very simple principle. We are lowering the cost of healthcare because no drugs are needed to prevent those diseases from happening. And this is where we are very committed to, is trying to help people get good habits.
And at the end of this week, when CES comes to a close and you've had back-to-back meetings and countless business cards and so many different conversations, and when your inbox finally starts to get back to normal, what are you going to be focusing on this year and thinking about what you're going to be showing at next year's CES? Sorry to do this to you, but what's your big focus going to be throughout the year?
So the biggest focus we have right now is to get the BConnect protocol out for sustainability and acceleration of the digital transformation of the bathroom. That will be our focus, and every time everyone that listens to us have anything that can contribute to the interoperability of devices towards healthcare in the bathroom, please reach out to us. We are really excited to make this reality. And with Matter becoming the standard of the connected home, we believe BConnect being the extra layer on top of Matter that will provide the security and privacy that people demand is the number one priority. I have another one, which is now we have successfully made our Indiegogo campaign of B-Balance. Now we want to ship it, and we are taking new pre-orders. So 2022 will be the first time we will deploy the B-Balance technology at scale, and we are super excited to see how we can have an impact on people's health. And that's two of my biggest focus. And the last one, which I'm not really at ease to talk to, is like we are investing a lot building partnership in the connected bathroom. We have this B-Mirror technology that allows to really create a fully connected bathroom, and we are trying to convince the leader in the industry in the bathroom. We are mostly people coming from a non-technical background to adopt and use and test our technology, because we believe we could leapfrog the slow-moving proprietary system that everybody is trying to deploy by just adopting a standard protocol and a standard operating system for the bathroom. That would be my third focus.
Love that. And the only thing that's changed since we last spoke last year is I now ask my guests to provide a song that has inspired them throughout their career, or been the soundtrack to those long flights to tech conferences, or helps them get their head in the zone before going on stage or going into a big meeting. Do you have a song and a story you can share with us? And we'll add that song to our Spotify play.
I let you decide which one you want. I think one other thing we're working on is listen to your heart. And I think there's a song that is called like that. But,
is it Roxette, was it, back in the 80s?
Yes. And that, I would say, is at the heart of what we are trying to do right now.
Excellent. Love that. Well, I'll get that on our Spotify playlist. And before I let you go, for anyone listening wanting to find out information on anything we've talked about there, from the Be Cool there, the first the thermometer and the Be Balance, the first connected product to use footprint recognition and merge medical indexes. We've covered a lot in a short amount of time. What's the best way to find out more information on all these products?
This is our website, www.baracoda.com, or just email me, thomas.serval@baracoda.com.
Excellent. Well, I'll add links to those so people can find that nice and easily. And I might try and get a few videos on there as well, just to show people how they, especially the B balance, that's the one that interests me, with how it records posture and balance in addition to weight and BMI. Completely reinvents the bathroom scales, the humble scales there, not to mention the mirror and everything. I love everything that you're doing here, but thank you so much for taking the time from a very busy CES to share that with me today.
Thank you, Neil, and hope you will enjoy CES as much as we do.
CES is famous for having so many solutions that won't see the light of day. But not in this case. One of the reasons I invited Thomas back on the podcast is a bit of a veteran in CES terms. And every year they seem to clean up with a vast array of awards about innovation. And they're solving real problems. I just love the idea of imagining getting out of bed in the morning, standing on that B balance board and having that first connected product that uses footprint recognition, and it will automatically merge your medical indexes, posture and balance, in addition to weight and BMI. And then you throw in things like a smart toothbrush and smart mirrors. And how long is it until we get to the office and then look on our phone and browse through alerts or notifications around any changes in our health that we might need to monitor a little bit more closely? Welcome to the world of proactive healthcare rather than reactive. But what are your thoughts? This is something that, as a tech geek, that I get excited about. But what are your thoughts? Please share them as always to me at techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn at Neil C. Hughes. Don't just follow though, hit a connect and send me a quick message. Let me know that you listen to the podcast. It is important to me that I connect with each and every one of you. So keep those connections coming over, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. But I'm not going to reveal any spoilers on who the guest is going to be. So a big thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.